Naming alkanes. The International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, or IUPAC, has devised a system of nomenclature that begins with the names of the alkanes and can be adjusted from there to account for more complicated structures. The nomenclature of four alkanes is based on two rules. To name an alkane, first identify the longest chain of carbon atoms in each structure. A 2-carbon chain is called ethane, a 3-carbon chain propane, and a 4-carbon chain butane. Longer chains are named as follows: pentane 5-carbon chain, hexane 6, heptane 7, octane 8, nonane 9, and decantane. These prefixes can be seen in the names of the alkanes. Add prefixes to the name of the longest chain to indicate the position and names the substituents. Substituents are branch or functional groups that replace hydrogen atoms on a chain. The position of a substituent or branch is identified by the number of the carbon atoms it is bonded to in the chain. We number the carbon atoms in the chain by counting from the end of the chain nearest the substituents. Multiple substituents are named individually and placed in the alphabetical order at the front of the name. When more than one substituent is present, either on the same carbon atom or on different carbon atoms, the substituents are listed alphabetically. Because the carbon atom numbering begins at the end closest to a substituent. The longest chain of carbon atoms is numbered in such a way as to produce the lowest number for the substituents. The ending replaces "id" at the end of the name of an electronegative substituent. In ionic compound, the negatively charged ions ends with IDE like chloride. In organic compounds, such atoms are treated as substituents and the ending is used. The number of substituents of the same type is indicated by prefixes D or 2, tri, 3, tetra, 4, and so on. For example, difluoro indicates 2 fluoride substituents. Alkanes born in the presence of oxygen. A highly exothermic oxidation reduction reaction that produces carbon dioxide and water. As a consequence, alkanes are excellent fuels. For example, methane CH4 is the principal component of natural gas. Butane C4H10 used in camping stove and lighters is an alkane. Gasoline is a liquid mixture of continuous and branch chain alkanes, each containing from 5 to 9 carbon atoms, plus various additives to improve its performance as a fuel. Kerosene, diesel oil, and fuel oil are primarily mixture of alkanes with higher molecular masses. The main source of these liquid alkane fuels is crude oil, a complex mixture that is separated by fractional distillation. Fractional distillation takes advantage of differences in the boiling points of the components of the mixture. You may recall that boiling point is a function of intermolecular interaction, which was discussed in the chapter on solution of cold. Alkenes. Organic compounds that contain one or more double or triple bonds between carbon atoms are described as unsaturated. You have likely heard of unsaturated fats. These are complex organic molecules with long chains of carbon atoms, which contain at least one double band between carbon atoms. Unsaturated hydrocarbon molecules that contain one or more double bands are called alkenes. Carbon atoms linked by a double band are bound together by two bands, one band and one pi band. Double band and triple bands give rise to a different geometry around the carbon atom that participates in them, leading to important differences in molecular shape and properties. The differing geometries are responsible for the different properties of unsaturated versus saturated fats. Ethene, C2H4, just simply is alkene. Each carbon atom is ethene, commonly called ethylene, has a trigonal planar structure. The second member of the series is propane or propylene. The butane isomers follow in the series. 4 carbon atoms in the chain of butane allows for the formation of isomers based on the position of the double band, as well as new form of isomers. Ethylene, or the common industrial name for the ethane, is the basic raw material in the production of polyethylene and the other important compounds. Over 135 million tons of ethylene were produced worldwide in 2010 for use in the polymer, petrochemical, and plastic industries. Ethylene is produced industrially in a process called cracking, in which the long hydrocarbon chains in the petroleum mixture are broken into smaller molecules. Alkynes. Hydrocarbon molecules with one or more triple bands are called alkynes. They make up another series of unsaturated hydrocarbons. 2 carbon atoms joined by a triple band are bound together by one band and 2 pi bands. The sp hybridized carbons involved in the triple band have band angles of 180 degrees, giving these types of bands a linear, rod-like shape. The simplest member of the alkyne series is ethine, C2H2, commonly called acetylene. The Lewis structure of ethine, a linear molecule. The epoch nomenclature for alkynes is similar to that for alkynes, except that the suffix YNE is used to indicate a triple bond in the chain. For example, CH3, CH2, C or equals CH is called 1-butane. Chemically, the alkanes are similar to the alkenes, since the C functional group has 2 pi bands. Alkynes typically react even more readily and react with twice as much reagent in addition reactions.